Hey everybody, this is Coach Caitlin. For those of you that don't know me, I often coach 9:30 classes at TWR. In addition to coaching CrossFit, which I have been coaching for 10 years now, I coach rowing, weightlifting, and then I am also a certified health coach and nutritionist. And so today, even though you might not necessarily think of it in direct relation with your CrossFit or your CrossFit gym, I want to talk to you a little bit about health during this quarantine and how to maintain both physical and a little bit of mental health during this quarantine because it is such a strange time. And I think what makes it difficult for a lot of people, and it's even a difficult topic to cover thoroughly, is because we are all experiencing things so differently. Everybody's little bubble is so different because maybe you are still working and maybe you're not. And maybe that looks like going into work. Maybe that looks like working from home. Maybe you've been laid off or furloughed. Maybe you're having trouble financially. Maybe you have kids with you. Maybe you have a spouse with you. Maybe you're alone. So it can be so many different things. And so keeping all those variabilities in mind, I just want to talk about a few things that everybody can find time to do or find ways to get it into their day, no matter what the circumstance might be. And because we are tackling this from the CrossFit gym, from TWR, I do want to touch on the physical part first. Now, I know that some of us have equipment at home and some of us do not. But then a big part, regardless of staying fit during this time, is sort of finding motivation and maybe finding the time, especially if you're stuck at home with kids or other people that seem to constantly need something from you. And so I want to tell you something that I have always told my clients who have trouble getting their workouts in during the day. And this can be anybody from a very busy, CEO, just to a busy mom, or anybody in between, of course. So I want you to remember that doing activity is going to be better than not doing activity, both for your health, but also for your mood. So I want you to stick to the 5 minutes a day rule, and I really mean that. And so what that means is just find 5 minutes in a day to work out, and that can be anything. If you have equipment, great, use it if you want to. If you don't, it can be anything. And it can be something as simple as like, you don't know what to do that day, but you know you have to get your 5 minutes in. And while you're thinking about it, just start your stopwatch and start doing air squats and figure it out as you go. Because the thing about the 5 minute rule is this: if you get through the 5 minutes, and that is truly the only time and motivation that you have, then cross that off your list and pat yourself on the back. You did it. You found time, you found the motivation, you got it in. But so often, it's just the getting started that's difficult. And so very often, if you get that 5 minutes in, all of a sudden you think, I could go for 7, I could go for another 5 minutes, and then maybe eventually that stretches into 30 minutes. And on the days that it does, great, good for you. And on the days that it doesn't, that's okay. So stick to 5 minutes a day and don't put pressure on it to be anything other than that. When it is, great. And if it isn't, good for you, pat yourself on the back, move on. The other thing I want to talk about is a little bit more related to physical health, although it does affect our mental health. And I want to talk about like getting some vitamin D. So basically finding a way to get outside. And again, for some of us, it's easier than others. And of course, this weather is very dependent, but it is really important to try to get outside in nature a little bit every day. And if it's cold and it's crappy and it's raining, and that just means that you go on a 5 minute walk with your hood up, that's going to be better than nothing. If the weather is so terrible that you really can't bring yourself to go outside or you can't find the time, try to set yourself up near a window with light coming in, whether that's to do your Zoom meeting or to do homework with your child, or whatever it might be. Try to get some natural light on your skin. Being out in nature does so many good things for your brains and for in your brain and for the chemicals in your brain, but also it kickstarts the production of vitamin D. And while supplementing with vitamin D, if you're not getting outside, is better than not getting it, the actual process of getting sunlight on your skin and producing the vitamin D on your own has health benefits within itself. So it's not just the vitamin D, but the actual act of producing vitamin D that's good for your body. So supplement if you can and if you have to, but the very best thing is to find a way to get outside, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes. But ideally, we're looking at 20 or more minutes a day. The last thing I want to talk to you about is more on the mental health side, and that is just finding a way to have joy within your day, which again, for some of us during this time might not be difficult. Maybe you're really enjoying this and it's allowed you time to yourself or with your family, but for some of us, we might really be struggling. And I want to encourage you to find ways to insert joy in your day, no matter how small that might be. And that can be anything from, like, if you're trying to stay hydrated and drink water all day, like, drink it out of your favorite glass. Like, get like a Lil Jon goblet and like drink your water out of a huge wine glass. Or maybe it's like, doing something weird with your clothes or your hair, and like nobody's going to know about it because you're just in your house hanging out, social distancing, like the hero that you are. And whatever that means for you, just try to find ways to insert joy into your day. Maybe that means you do a Zoom meeting with your boss and you're not wearing any pants. I don't really care what it is. Just something that's going to like lighten your day, make you smile, make things feel a little bit special, okay? So I hope those 3 tips help. Hopefully we will be out of this social distancing and back to time together soon. And I hope you know that even if I haven't coached you before, if you have any questions or if you need anything, of course you can reach out to the TWR staff, but that definitely includes me as well. Okay, guys, stay healthy, stay safe, and we will see you in the gym soon.